No, the battery's good. It's just okay. It's starting to work. Ah, that's annoying. But
So going, I guess, a plan going forward then
Yeah.
with all of these things that you've noticed.
Yep.
So kind of resuming the applications in February.
Yep.
That is you are set. This is what you want to do.
Yeah.
And you're not going to let them
No. Yeah, that's
convince you otherwise.
Exactly. I plan on to continue to apply for jobs and experience whatever experiences I have at work, because, well, I need food, and I need shelter.
Yes.
So I have to, I guess.
You have to make a living.
Yes. So, and I didn't go to school for no reason. So I guess, yes, I'm going to continue to apply for work in the areas. And I think, the people who are doing bad things using their resources, their dump trucks, their free time, to psychologically get me to not want to be a part of that community. I don't know. It's very intelligent.
I would add too, and I know we've talked about this before,
Yeah.
John, but driving is kind of an ideal position for
Yeah.
you because often driving jobs pay well, right?
Yeah.
They pay livable wages,
Yeah.
and you're not depending on the job, because I know you had that one where you were doing maybe more than originally. It was with the caskets.
Yeah, that job was
Yeah.
not what I.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, driving positions, if you can find a good fit, then you don't have to.
Yeah.
You don't have to work with a lot of people.
Yes.
Right? You get to
That's-
work independently, and not have as many influences around you. You have enough influences going on right now with
Yep.
the technology.
Yes.
So.
Yes, it helps. So as long as I can isolate one of, and yes, you're absolutely right. This is the best opportunity for me to work.
I agree. I think a driving position, and there's so many, and
Yeah.
so many different types of vehicles, and
Yep.
with your credentials, you have an opportunity to make a good.
Yeah. I got the best Class B license you can get. So I should be highly employable.
Yes. I agree. Let me see. I just seen if I had anything overdue. I don't have to do your rules until March. Now we only just re-sign once a year. We only have to review once a year.
Okay.
How does what you've noticed in the last few months, does this change any of your plans after your office supervision? Because that's going to be coming up.
No, I plan on continuing. Well, now that I know I can work in the winter. Well, no changes. I'm going to keep using this license to stay employed. And
Your job restrictions, obviously, once you're done, are going to lift.
Right.
Too, right.
Yep.
You're gonna
That's
have-
true.
Yeah. So I mean, the only thing is
Yeah, I knew that.
the registry requirements. If you want, and it's totally up to you. I met with one of the source specialists about another client, and who's getting ready to discharge, and they just reminded me, anytime you have a client that's ready to discharge, if you're interested in meeting with them, so you know what it looks like just on the registry piece, because we're going to be gone, right? You're not going to be on supervision.
Yeah.
What that would look like, what the expectations are. They're
Yep.
more than happy to talk with our clients who
Okay.
are getting ready to discharge.
That'd be cool.
So, but yeah, you're not going to have the same kind of restrictions,
Yeah.
you know?
So yeah, the job opportunities will increase.
Mm-hmm.
And that's pretty cool. I've been looking forward to that, but I think I'm still going to be in the same area with driving, because you're independent, like you said. That's still probably the most independent work position I could get,
Yeah.
and I don't know. I think until things change, that's how I'm going to continue on, keep driving, and until things change, and and I know there's going to be more nationally. the opportunities will increase as well. So if I choose to leave, I can travel all over the nation, and wherever I go, there's going to be dump trucks or Class B vehicles that need to be driven, and so I should be good to go.
And I mean, not like we can tell with this winter, but I mean some of the warmer states that do have kind of the year-round,
service
dump truck driving jobs.
Yep.
Okay.
So
when do you think you're gonna start reaching out to some of the companies in February? Like right in the beginning of February? Or did they give you
probably
any kind of guidance on that?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna do. I was gonna. They said February, and I'm gonna do it. Okay. I'm gonna apply early February.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Looks like I gotta do a home visit.
Okay.
For next month, if that works for you.
Sounds good.
Time of day. We can just put some on the calendar, and if something pops up, or if we end up getting a bunch of snow, you can let me know.
No. Any time works.
Okay. Maybe a late morning on a Friday.
Sounds good.
Like 11:30.
Sounds good.
On the 14th.
Oh. Okay. 14. All right. Yeah, let's do it.
Is that okay?
Yep.
Can I ask, how much do you pay in rent?
I think it's 800, and they just told me it's $860.
Dane County.
Yeah.
Have you thought about relocating after discharge, or do you like where you're at?
Oh no, I'm gonna. Yeah, I plan on the first chance, since I can't keep a job, or since someone is since I get harassed at work, usually slowly over a long period of time, or see, like they do small things at the beginning of my employment that build over time. So they small harassment and they build on top of that small harassment, and they keep building and keep building and keep building. And if that doesn't work to get me to complain, they finally do something inappropriate, like rub my butt or say or do something that I feel like is enough to warrant a complaint. And when that happens, I usually lose my employment. So for the last 8 years, that's been a routine. It's a route. Harass somebody until they complain, and then when they complain, terminate them, because these companies have like some type of psychology where it's easier to get rid of someone complaining than it is to fire someone who's been there for a long time, or to admit that in their workplace something bad happened, because it's like a lawsuit. That person could then sue, or the company then looks bad. So for the last 8 years, I've had those experiences where people keep doing that. Almost every company I worked at. So I've learned someone is pushing me out of having a shelter, because you can't financially afford to continue to stay in a shelter, because you can't continue to have employment, because you are constantly harassed at work, and you end up complaining to your employer about the harassment, and you end up being fired.
Right. Just based. So, have you ever? And you may have told me this before.
Yeah.
Have you ever had a job where you did not tell?
Yeah. The last job I had.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yep.
The farm position,
farm job.
Right?
I just kept it a secret. So instead of so I used to tell the employers. That didn't work. I ended up getting fired. Then I went to the internet and I started telling people on the internet. That didn't work either. And the companies ended up using that as an excuse to terminate. Although they've never. So it's like a wrongful termination, but I signed a contract to be employed at will, So at any point, the company could just say, I don't like your comments, and you're terminated. But they use it anyways. They use it as a reason to terminate me. Verbally, they'll say, because you have comments on the internet, and although we as a company don't have a policy against it, we are deciding to terminate you. But in reality, the real justification is it's an at-will company, and we don't like what you said about your working conditions, and that's why we're trying to get rid of you. And then so that keeps happening. So I'm sorry. That's what they reminded me what to say. That's what I did in the past, and then the last job I had, I kept telling. I just didn't publicly tell. I didn't post it.
You didn't post it.
I did post it, but it's scheduled for later.
Okay.
So like after you're done being employed. So someone is messing with my memories. So every time I try to reach into my memories, I can't retrieve the information. It's like a wall, like a brick wall that you can't get past. Or not a wall. It's just impossible. Sure. There's no barrier. There's no wall. It's just you usually can think about something in the past, and the memory gets there. So I can't even think about the past too well, and the memories are not arriving like they're supposed to. So it's an implant. So, and I think someone knows that. So if I started telling in real time, I wouldn't forget. So if someone said you're gay, and they walked past me and said it, or someone held a pipe in there, they're giving me memories now. And for the sake of time, I'm just going to say what they say. Someone walks past you with a pipe and imitates like they're going to strike you. And a month from now, you won't remember that happened, because we're going to stop you from reaching into your memories. But if you write it down right away, you won't forget that you have proof. Right. So I have to trust that everything I've ever written in real time actually happened, or I won't recall that someone did something that was harassing.
That makes sense. For the farm position specifically, you said that you had posted, but you hadn't you had recorded. Yeah. You had told. Yeah. But you didn't publish it.
I didn't publish it.
So it's kind of like so you're able to just kind of put it in your archive until you need it.
Oh, it's going to post. So whether I live or die, it's going to be posted. So it's just like scheduled. So I put it out for a while, and then eventually somebody's going to see it.
You can schedule it out. I'm not sure how it works. That's why I was asking. So you can schedule it out for a date for it to be posted.
Yes.
Okay.
And that's what I did there. And I worked the entire time. I was being harassed the entire time. I was being sexually harassed. These people kept bending over, showing me their butt cracks, or saying something that insinuated that they knew a personal history of me. And this guy rubbed against my butt. And then another guy started yelling at me because I wouldn't work around the person who rubbed up against my butt. So it's like psychological harassment and intimidation to get you angry, and then to use technology to stop you from explaining yourself quickly, gets you in this position of aggravation. So if you can't tell people what you want to say, or like, dude, that dude just rubbed up against my butt, and now you're trying to scare me into losing my job or working around the person who rubbed against my butt. And you think you're smart. You think you're ignoring the fact that no one would want to work around a person like that, somebody who touched their butt. And so in every job I get, people keep touching my butt, and it's gay dudes. And if I complain, the owner is bound to fire me. So someone decided that clearly I want to work. I keep showing up to work. I'm working these 12-hour shifts. I know how to get rid of him. I'm going to touch his butt and see what happens. I won't get in trouble, because the owner will fire him, and everybody here is going to deny it. And then if he calls the police, they're going to protect me. The people who work in the local Lodi Police Department were also harassing me. So this guy really knows not to call the police, because they are helping us harass this dude every time he comes to work and every time he leaves from work. The cops are actually harassing him or making him afraid to call them. So the people I worked with, these are gay people, and they're using gay police officers to keep them safe. And so someone knew that I would either get they thought I'd choose violence. So telling
Sure,
is
yeah.
not working.
Yeah.
Maybe this one time I touch his butt again, he'll do something violent.
Yeah.
And instead of telling.
And you're not going to give them
So
that satisfaction because they
Yeah.
expect you to react a certain way. They want you to
Yeah.
react a certain way.
And people are playing stupid. They're acting like they don't know who the guy with the earmuffs is in town, or the guy driving around town with cardboard glasses on his eyes everywhere, or the guy complaining about implants, or the guy talking about gay community harassment all the time on the internet or they have no knowledge of who he is. But that's impossible. There is no one in the world who's going to believe that somebody who has presented himself the way I have for over 6 years with earmuffs, or not 6 years with the earmuffs, but like with sweatbands around his ears, or has been complaining about implants in his body, or being sexually assaulted in public, or with an implant, is unknown. Yeah. It's like a mystery.
Yeah.
So I'm public enough. I'm not hiding somewhere 24/7 where no one could ever see me or hear of me. I am constantly in the public. I am constantly going to coffee shops. I'm constantly going to grocery stores. I'm constantly doing everything I can without interfering with other people's lives. That there's something happening to my body that I don't want to happen, and there are people harassing me, and I'm yelling, "Go fuck yourself!" in public, out loud, to these cops at intersections, to these people in company cars at intersections, to this stalking harassment, so somebody is denying reality. So the internet isn't the only way to know someone.
Sure.
There is a way to see something with your own eyes that you can tell that I know who this person is, and somebody is using technology. Well, he is yelling out loud. In an investigation, people are just curious people. They will figure out, who is that guy? Who is the guy with the earmuffs everywhere? Who's the guy wearing sweatbands everywhere? Who's the guy wearing the same clothes everywhere?
Yeah.
Who's the guy driving the Chrysler? Who's the guy with the 200? Well, not the 200, but who's the guy, the black guy in the Chrysler with the cardboard on his glasses everywhere, driving everywhere? Who is that guy? And they'll figure out that his name is John Lattimore. They'll figure out he's a sex offender. They'll figure out that what is he saying go fuck yourself for? So go fuck yourself. He's driving a Chrysler. He has why is he wearing cardboard on his glasses? And they'll figure out that he's claiming that he's being harassed by gay people. And that's going to start a conversation. People are going to start talking. And so none of these sequences are, within reason, are taking place. And people are still acting like they have no knowledge of who I am. Or that I wear cardboard on my glasses everywhere I drive. Or that I wear earmuffs everywhere I go.
I guess I didn't know that you wore cardboard.
I've been doing it for you didn't know that. No police officer told you that John Lattimore is driving around town. No. So none of the contacts
and a lot of the videos.
Holy crap!
I haven't seen all of your videos, obviously, but the ones I've seen, I haven't. There's not a lot of them with you, with your image, and so you wear them when you're driving, right?
Yeah.
That's what you said. So I guess that makes sense.
That's weird.
I don't know if you record yourself while you're. Are there times when you record?
No. Well, yeah, I have. There's like 2 or 3 videos where I've actually shown people there's cardboard on my glasses.
I have no idea.
But I've been doing that for like 5 years. Since people started flashing.
So it's obvious.
Yeah, that's weird. No police officer has told you in their reports that, hey, John Lattimore is actually driving with cardboard on his glasses everywhere, and he's telling us to go F ourselves.
And I'll tell you that the reports that we get, when we do get reports, if it's not the officer contacting me directly, which that hasn't happened a whole lot. That was that incident with where they were stopped at the accident, I think in Middleton or whatever. So he called me. He never said anything about that.
Weird.
And the information that we get when there's police contact, especially after hours, the information is usually just a little snippet from the monitoring center. Law enforcement calls monitoring. Monitoring types up a quick synopsis of what happened. Very brief.
Oh.
So
they're trying to hide. They're hiding.
I have never seen that. I was just wondering if you needed an appointment.
Yes, that's interesting. I think someone's trying to hide the reality that there's a dude driving around. Well, I'm not trying to be famous. I mean, I know cardboard in your glasses aren't cool. They won't make you famous. There's not. If I wanted to be famous, I wouldn't wear cardboard on my. I'd be a cool person. So I think they're trying to hide. They're trying to hide the reality that there is somebody wearing cardboard in his glasses because people would ask questions. Well, I don't know, but
and you're with your earmuffs too. I mean, especially at this time of year, no one's gonna think twice about somebody wearing earmuffs.
right.
In the summer, if it's 90 degrees out, that might be a different story.
Yeah, that is weird. So I think I'm right. I think someone is harassing me, and they're trying to cover it up by ignoring the things that would make people ask questions.
Gotcha.
And that's like 10,000, 20,000. That's a lot of people.
It is a lot of people
who have not said anything.
I'm sure that you're right. I haven't known you that long. I mean, maybe they've told your previous agents, but I have never been.
Yeah. Everywhere I go, there's cardboard glasses on my
I
dashboard.
had no idea.
And I go to restaurants. I go to like Starbucks. I go through the drive-through, and you're telling me none of those people have ever told anyone. And
Maybe
those
they have told someone. I wasn't part of that conversation though.
It's like someone just told me in my ears, well, eventually word would get to a felon. And a felon would tell his parole agent that there's a dude who's a felon driving around with cardboard on his glasses. And that parole agent would tell another parole agent that, hey, there's a parolee driving around town with cardboard on his glasses, and it's yours.
I mean, I could see that reasoning, but if somebody told me about your glasses, I would tell you. I had no idea. I had no idea. I hadn't seen it. I hadn't seen it on you, and that wasn't a. If anytime law enforcement contacts us about you, which again isn't every time, it is not every time you have police contact. Believe it or not, your glasses have never been brought up.
Oh.
Yep.
I can't. Wow.
It's always been to go fuck yourself. That's what gets brought up, but not the.
Yeah. That's interesting.
All right.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yep. Holy crap, dudes. Holy crap. So, like I said, I've been telling the truth, and this woman just admitted to me that somebody has been hiding the fact that there's a dude in Wisconsin. Well, that's impossible. That's literally impossible, because that would mean like 30,000 people, the potential of 30,000 people have never said anything about cardboard glasses. Some dude driving around town with cardboard on his glasses. Look, they just told me to show you the cardboard glasses. So that would mean somebody out of 30,000 people, no one said anything? That there's a guy driving around town with cardboard on his glasses? Is that what you're telling me? Is that what you're telling me? That potential exists? That doesn't make any sense. People are felons. Felons don't stop talking. So if I was a felon and I saw somebody with those glasses, I would immediately tell my guy, hey man, why is that dude driving around town with cardboard on his glasses? That's what I would tell my guy. I'd be like, hey man, dude, you know there's a dude in Madison with cardboard, he's a sex offender. So word would get out that, hey, there's a sex offender in town with cardboard on his glasses. Did you know that? So my point is this, man. This is my point. My point is this. Hey, you may be able to stop one or two people from talking about it, but eventually somebody in the community is going to see you or hear about you. And they're going to start talking about you. And so I think there are implants, or people are scared. The only thing that would control so many people is a death threat. It's an open death threat on anyone who propels this person to fame, to be acknowledged. Not to fame, but to be recognized. So there's a death threat. If you decide to make this person known, you will essentially have told the whole world that there's an implant in somebody's body, because immediately after they get known, the claims of having an implant is going to spread through the nation, and someone is going to discover if it's true. it's just human, or there'll be a rationality to discover that eventually someone will find the implant or discover how it's done, and in the future it can never be done again because people are going to make claims, and I would be they just told me in my ears I would be the reference. They just said you would be the reference in the future, that someone else claimed there was implants in their bodies. So I think the only thing that's stopping people from telling is a death threat. Or, well, you can't control people all at once. So how do you watch everyone without saying anything? Well, without actually watching them. You wait. You wait for someone to try to make somebody famous, or you state that there's a death threat. You give a death threat, an open death threat, and you tell as many people as possible. If you make this person famous, you will be murdered. If you say or do anything that recognizes this person, you will be murdered. And that's how you can be certain that no one will ever speak up. That's the only thing I can think of. I think it's reasonable that that's not my purpose. And they just told me you wanted to intimidate your parole agent with intelligence, like to use intelligence to intimidate your parole agent. And then if you were capable of that, we would charge you with another case of rape. Find someone who has to come forward and accuse you of rape. So if you ever had the ability to use intelligence as a weapon, or aggression, or intimidation, or some form of something, we would use a woman to accuse you of rape and put you in prison. So that's the scare tactic for me. Don't get too smart, or like a retaliation. So if you're intelligent and you can tell that things are happening to you. If you do it too well, or if you do it with any form of intimidation, we would break you with a false accusation of rape. That's what we do. That's what we would do. And they just said, you should say accusation of rape. You said something, we would with an accusation of rape. So they're saying it won't be false. They just said in my ears, it won't be false. It will be true. It'll be false. It would be false. These people are hiding the reality. They're trying to make me look like a liar now. They're using technology to take confidence. The part of my brain where I can speak. So they just made it a lot harder for me to speak. I don't know what they did, but for 2 seconds, if you go back, you'll see that I lost. They just said lose track, but I didn't lose track. I lost the words that I was speaking. I was trying to speak. But anyways, so these guys think that they can scare me into. They just said we're trying to be fair to everybody, emotionally fair. But you stole 30 years of my life. I'm not here for. There's no equality. There's no justice for stealing 30 freaking years of someone's life. And you've been torturing me with an implant. There is no fairness. When they lose, when these people have lost 30 years of life, they will understand. And me not having sex with gay people does not take life from them. They have no less life. So these people told me that you are stealing life from gay people because you won't have sex with them. So we are stealing life from you, and to be fair, that's not equality. And they were reminding me that I learned if I was getting stronger this whole time, I would. They reminded me that if I was actually getting stronger this entire time. In reality, the time I've lost, the 30 years I've lost, well, you have to wait until you're 18 to start getting stronger, or when you've gained all your freedom. So maybe 20 to start getting stronger. So the time that would be longer. So for the last decade, the last maybe 11 years. So the time it takes to start getting stronger is with weightlifting. If I had told somebody 10 years ago how to advance weightlifting, and the time actually I slowed down my aging, then the time I've lost is a lot more than what we know of. So in reality, I've lost decades. Well, I'm 30 years old, and if I started getting stronger at 20, in reality, I've lost decades of life because somebody didn't allow me to slow down the aging process. So technically, these people have cost me more time than what we than the common than what's recorded. Well, than what most people know. They have cost me more time than what most people would consider the time I lost. So in reality, I've lost decades from the moment I turned 20 or 22 or however long it would take somebody to engineer the magnets in a weight room to improve someone's life. I think it could be done in a day. I think it could be done in weeks. I think it could be done in a very short period of time. And I also think that somebody is infringing. Well, if people knew how much time they really took from me, it'd be worse. The reality of the time loss is a lot worse than people know. So I've lost a lot of time. I think I'd be aging very slowly. I'd still be in my 20s. Or it'd take a lot longer for me to get older. So these people are telling me that in fairness, I'm supposed to be suffering because some gay person can't have sex. It's Todd Hall. So Todd Hall's life is going to be ruined because he didn't have sex with the person he was supposed to have sex with as an infant. Well, as an 8-year-old or a 10-year-old or 11-year-old or a 12-year-old. He didn't actually manage to have sex with that person. So someone is trying to keep me young in appearance because I would still be attractive to a pedophile, right? So if a grown man looks like a child, a pedophile could still be attracted to him. So the idea is to keep my genitals small so that it's just like they look or appear like they looked and appeared 20 years ago, like a child. And if that's possible, well, they can stop your genitals from growing and they can cause your genitals to grow. So as you start having sex with gay people, your genitals will grow with the implant. And as you were having sex with Todd, your genitals would continue to grow. And if your genitals continue to grow, you'd be a man. You'd be considered a man. So that didn't happen. So I'm stuck. Someone is trying to keep me stuck without growing, without maturing, with using an implant. But I still managed to get to learn. I mean, barely by talking, just by talking to them. But they didn't give me confirm anything. So talking and reasoning to myself. Literally, in essence, I was talking and reasoning to myself with somebody saying, I don't know, possibly, no, or silence. So talking and reasoning to myself out loud and listening to silence as a response. And when that wasn't the case, they would just say, once I came to a conclusion, they would agree. So I could be wrong. And in reality, they didn't give me confidence or support anything I've learned. In fact, they've been trying to deny everything I've learned too. So they've been doing everything they can to deny everything I've ever said to you guys, to Twitter, to YouTube, everything. They've been using implants to constantly try to get me to change what I say in public. But I don't believe it. I know for a fact you're supposed to get stronger, and the way to do it So these gay people think, look, gay cockroaches, gay rapist cockroaches. Oh, so I guess it's a death threat. So every time I see that, it's supposed to mean if you don't like it, if you're really mad, if you really want to do something about it, use a police officer to kill yourself. That's what they just told me. That's what that symbol is. So the cross, they told me that the intersections mean sacrifice. If you want to improve, if you want anyone to know you exist, you have to kill yourself. You have to die, so that because someone has to make a sacrifice for the world to improve. If you want the world to improve, and our civilization, we believe that sacrifices have to be made in order for a civilization to improve. So these retards, these idiots, these handicapped people believe that in their society or their civilization, any person who desires to make improvements have to make a sacrifice. And then the only way to do it, you can use thugs to kill yourself. That'll work. We'll figure out who you are as soon as you're dead. Or you can use police officers to kill you, and we'll figure out who you were as soon as you're dead. And it'll count as our way of living, in the American way, as the American way to make improvements. You have to die, or somebody has to make a sacrifice in order for you to survive, or in order for the civilization to grow. But that's not how the reality of mankind. The reality of mankind is that you have to give up a bit of freedom to make improvements. So you still have life, but you have to give up a small portion of your freedom. And that's your ability to disappear or to cease to exist. That's the smallest freedom you have to give up. So as you improve, you have gravity, you gain energy, you gain life. And if you gain more life, that means you won't die. You won't disappear. You'll stay in existence in someone's mind or in a monument somewhere. You will remain in existence. So the freedom to live and die and disappear from reality, to escape gravity, the reality of your existence entirely is gone. That's the small amount of freedom you have to give up. That's the sacrifice. And it's not that bad of a sacrifice if you want to live with gravity. If you want to live a long time, you're not going to really sacrifice. It's not a sacrifice to me. It's a gift. It's an improvement. It's more energy. So you're not losing energy. You're gaining energy. And as long as you gain life, you gain energy, you will constantly. It's an improvement. So there's no loss. A loss would be death. There's a loss. That's a loss of energy. So anytime you gain life, you make improvements, you don't make a sacrifice. It's not a sacrifice. That's my opinion. And I have to think about it, but that's my opinion. And anyways, so someone is using technology to electrocute my genitals as we speak and talk to me as we speak. It's Dwayne Johnson's worthless. Dwayne Johnson is so worthless. This cockroach is the most worthless weightlifter in the whole world. He carries 50,000 pounds of weights all over the world, and this handicapped loser is trying to get me to be gay constantly, trying to get me to want to have sex with him, and in reality, and then in person deny me. So he wants me to be desperate to have sex with him, and then in person he wants to deny me to make himself look more heterosexual and make me look like a gay dude in reality. So he's not in reality, in person. So using technology, he's trying to get me to want to have sex with him constantly and telling me I'm desperately attracted to him. But it's a distraction. That handicapped idiot was supposed to discover how to get stronger. And somebody from Wisconsin who barely had a chance to weightlift his whole life figured out the best way to get stronger more than anybody else in the world. And this retard told millions of people, everyone he knew, that I was gay, that he heard of me years ago. Some dude in Wisconsin who refused to have sex with gay people, but everybody knew he was gay. So he was telling people I was gay and paying people in my life to do bad things to me. And apparently, if I don't turn out to be gay, he has to accept responsibility of doing that for decades. Him and several other gay dudes. Oh, that's the deal they made. We'll pay for it if he doesn't turn out to be gay. But Dwayne Johnson doesn't want to pay. He doesn't want to pay for the bad things he did. He wants to, he's trying to escape the responsibility of paying by using an implant to turn me into a gay dude. So he's cheating. There's supposed to be free will, but they're using technology to take my free will and turn me into a gay dude. And he's also mad. He won't show it, but he's worthless. He had an opportunity to get closer to gravity his whole life, and he's been carrying it around, and he still didn't learn how to improve weightlifting. So if I get famous, Dwayne Johnson looks like a retarded idiot with no value. He looks worthless, and they're using technology to stop me from speaking with intelligence about how worthless this person would appear. But anyway, and he just told me, well, I'm not that smart. He just said in my ears, well, Dwayne Johnson's not that smart. So it's not hard to imagine that he didn't learn it. It requires intelligence. That's not an excuse. The weights are all around you. You're surrounded by women. How much of a lesson do you need? You weren't listening to your body the whole time. What was he doing in the gym? If he wasn't listening to what his body was telling him, what the hell was he doing? You can't get stronger if you don't listen to what your body is telling you. So yes, Dwayne Johnson is a gay rapist. And he's using implants to get me to have sex. Want to have sex with him. But I'm going to keep telling, that there's people using implants to rape me. And everyone I know is acting stupid. But I gotta go.